Alright, hopefully everything is working. Please bear with me while I try to get things set up on my side. I am unfortunately a little out of practice. While trying to get all of this set up, I completely forgot my order of operations and started recording before I started streaming. So I've got a couple of things that are just not quite functioning the way they should right now. I suppose, you know, shortcomings like that are going to happen when you have, unfortunately, for all kinds of reasons, been away as long as I have. I was hoping last stream that I was going to be back on my usual schedule. Obviously, that did not happen. If you're in the Discord, you have a firm idea as to what's been going on. Not only was I sick, but I was kind of dealing with that last time. My mother has since been hospitalized and put into various forms of intensive care. She's doing well, you know, as far as like not dying right now, but as far as recovery and all that goes, she is having a very poor time of it, and my brother and I have had to step up on a few instances, and look, when you're dealing with things like that, it really does take far more time and energy than you particularly probably want to get too into. So that's the unfortunate as to where I've been. And as for this stream today, I know I'm like calling it Pokéclones, but obviously at the very front here, it's not entirely Pokéclones. These are going to be a lot of fan games, ROM hacks, Pokemon related stuff. If I get around to all of it, there's going to be a bunch of things. I highly doubt I will. I actually have a fair bit of it. I might have to do 2, maybe even 3 of these. But I do have a project coming up that I would like to do an extended idea on and a little bit of a dive there. Anyways, this is actually one of those games that I briefly talked about. Uh-oh. My controller not working now? There we go. This is one of those games that I briefly talked about on the Discord. As I'm constantly refreshing my YouTube page until you pop up, I keep seeing reactions to the new Avatar: The Last Airbender animated movie. Anyways, yeah, I saw a lot of those too, and I'm not gonna lie, I might watch the Nicholas Light TV one. I don't know if he is doing it on his Nicholas Light channel or his Nicholas Dark channel. Either way, though, that's probably the only one I'm gonna check out. Just because the man is known for over-the-top excitement, and I'm gonna need the help for that to deal with that one if I was gonna partake in it. But yeah, hopefully for the people who are watching it, they're actually getting a lot out of it for enjoyment. It is not one that I am excited to see for myself. Anyways, this first game is one that I first found out about, I don't even know how many years ago. I don't know how many years this has been like in development or not in development. What are the updates, what aren't the updates? For some reason in my head, I see myself having checked this game out what feels like a decade ago. I think I might have been living in a different house when I first discovered that this was being in development. But this is update 0.60.1, and this is Pokemon 3D, and this is one I'm kind of excited to share because it's one that's got a little bit of unique interpretation. It's basically the same Pokemon, I think this one's Gold. It's basically the same Pokemon Gold that we all know and love, but there is some differences in how it's delivered and experienced, and you kind of got to see a little bit of that with the opening. Give me 1 minute. So we all know the opening, you know, you gotta meet with Professor Oak, you gotta get your name. So right now, with all of these, I might or might not have some files on some. I don't even know right now. I did try to test a bunch of these and make sure that they're up and running, so at the very least, I'm gonna have enough to look into for the sake of this stream, but we'll see where it all goes. So you can kind of see here, we have 2D sprites placed within a 3D space. There is a term for that style, where it's like up above, off center. I think it's like isometric, something like that. but it is a unique visual angle that a lot of games have. I think the what is it? The Kirby? Is it Kirby Pinball? It might be Kirby Pinball. I always, like, in my head, I associate that game with, like, feeling like you're playing golf, but I don't think it's called golf. But yeah, that game style uses that sort of isometric camera design to also, with 2D, portray a 3D space. What you're gonna see with this one, if it maintains what I remember of it, wow. Oh, you got a lot more characters than I remember. I remember back then, I don't even think you got to pick a character. I think it was just Ethan. We're gonna go with Ethan, though. If I'm gonna play a game and I get the opportunity to pick my character, I'm either picking something entirely unique to it, I'm picking essentially Red, or I'm picking the only guy that managed to beat Red as far as I'm concerned. The canonical dethroner of Red. But I am going to swap this over, give him my name here. I have no idea if I'm going to stick with this, but... Ooh. Okay. There we go. So yeah, we see how a lot of this is constantly visually portrayed, and right now it's playing quite well with showcasing the 3D design. But as I recall, like, when you actually start playing it, it is a little visually different. But all of this stuff is so much different than it was back then that I'm not sure how true my thoughts of what this once was is going to hold up. Like I said, I seem to recall I first was exposed to this, like, I don't know how true it is, because I'm pulling from my memory. I think it's been close to 10 years. This is your home in New Barktown. You live there, with your mother, right next to Professor Elm. Ian, are you ready? Your very own Pokemon story is about to unfold. I am gonna have many Pokemon stories after today. I also know that a lot of these are also made by developers where English is not their primary language. So we may get to see some really funny broken English at some point, but I am interested in what the game is trying to portray, not so much how well somebody does or doesn't understand the English language. A world full of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go! I'll be seeing you later. This reminds me of the pop-up picture books that were up all over in the late 90s. So far I can see that. But as you can kind of see here, now we're getting the actual portrayal of the game. So, although, like, so far we got a lot of that pop-up design look, now we're getting something that is actually like an old 3D dungeon crawler style. If you're familiar with... I'm trying to think of a good game to explain this style into it. I've played a couple on stream before, and I love games that, like, have this grid exploration. I can't remember. Is Heroes of Might and Magic, or I might be thinking of a different one, uses this style of design. It's one that I've played with a lot. I enjoy a lot of games that do this. But to see it in Pokemon is kind of unique, and you're going to get to actually explore and see the world. So you can even see how they do the transitions there. Think of it like the Pokemon Explorer's dungeon experience, but from a first-person perspective. Oh, Ian, our neighbor, Professor Elm, was looking for you. He said he wanted you to do something. Oh, I almost forgot. Your Pokemon gear is back from the repair shop. Here you go. Pokemon gear, or just Pokegear. It's essential if you want to be a good trainer. By the way, do you know how to use the phone? Look, I understand how to use the phone in the original, and I'm just gonna lie and say I know this. I am not going to be able to open it by pressing Q, because I'm on a controller. Phone numbers are stored in memory. Just choose a name you want to call. Gee, isn't that convenient? Also, here is my number. GoldenEye 007, kinda. GoldenEye is more 3D spaced. You can move in angles in GoldenEye. I cannot move in angles. I am still locked in the grid pattern design. But I can look in angles, which is kind of cool, so I can actually, again, in a game of Pokemon, getting the 2D art style, but with a 3D space, but also letting you visually not be locked into the 2D art style, is really cool, especially because with a lot of these style games that I was referencing earlier, oh man, I think NIS has a few that I really liked. It might not have been NIS. It might be, there might be other developers that I'm thinking of. They have like a YouTube's not gonna like my description. There's one that's like kind of based on you playing a book, but it's the story's about a couple of lesbian witches. Genuinely, actually a really, really fun game though. I can't recall the title of it, but is one that I would play again. Whoops, I was gonna go to the right, but I guess I'm here already. But it has the style I'm referencing. But again, with a lot of those games, you're actually usually locked to looking the actual direction you're facing. And in this one, you really aren't as heavily locked in. And unfortunately, we've had this issue before. I have to take apart my controller and clean it or something because I'm having, again, connection issues. So, again, I might have to stop moving here and there and just, like, adjust my controller again. Ian, there you are. I needed to ask you a favor. I have an acquaintance called Mr. Pokemon. He keeps finding weird things and raving about his discoveries. Anyways, I just got an email from him saying that this time, it's real. It is intriguing, but we're busy with our Pokemon research. Could you look into it for us? I'll give you a Pokemon for a partner. They're all rare Pokemon that we just found. Go on, pick one. So, I know a lot of people love the Cyndaquil approach, and don't get me wrong, Cyndaquil is an absolute goated fire type. Also, just generally fun when it evolves. And except for recent timelines, modern interpretations of Typhlosion certainly represent certain island qualities of the Pokemon in particular. But Cyndaquil is still, like, adorably huggable. That's my goat, though. As far as this generation goes, I'm a big fan of Totodile. We're gonna take our little biting turtle. Wow, biting crocodile. Why did I say turtle? I think that's a great Pokemon too. Alright, we are going to not rename him. We're not going to stick with this long enough to make it into anything super meaningful, but I do want to see how the battles portray and all that stuff. Does YouTube not like Leslie Beans? YouTube loves all of the LGBTQ yada 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 community. However, YouTube is very cautious about when people talk about them. And so I don't know where I fall on that spectrum. I know where I fall on the gender spectrum, if we're gonna allow for that terminology, but I don't know where I fall within YouTube's favoritism of discussing them. Mind you, I am unabashedly right-leaning, and so I don't know. On the YouTube side of things, are there, like, limitations, boxes? Am I put in a box and shoved into the corner even though it's like, yeah, I don't care if you're a lesbian? I might be right-leaning, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, oh man, but how dare you live a different lifestyle than I live? I am not gonna read that, Rigid, just because, in context, I don't want a clip of me saying that exactly as was written. Alright, so we're heading over to Cherry Grove, the next city. It's almost a direct route to there. If your Pokemon is hurt, you should heal it with this machine, which I can't turn to look at right now because I'm stuck in a dialogue box with you. Alright, so this is... Oh, okay, no, so that's the PC, which is not going to be that, but... that is kind of interesting that we get a very unique heal box. Oh my god, he follows me! I don't remember him following me. That's adorable. again, I'm a big fan of that in a lot of Pokemon games. We got that in Pokemon Yellow, and then we got that in, like, God, years and years and years and years later. We finally got the return to that with, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But it is one of my favorite, just consistent mechanics. Just let me travel with my Pokemon. Let me keep my friends nearby. Alright, let's head on out. I'm sure this kid is probably going to want to yell at me about catching Pokemon, but I'm well aware, so let's just go right around him. Alright, how do battles work out within this game? You actually do get a little bit of a 3D world. Now, we're kind of locked in, but, like, you get a little bit of a 3D world here. Alright, the camera jumping all over the place is a little bit jarring for me. I think it probably would have been pretty solid to keep, like, a constant circle pattern, rather than this, you know, flowing back and forth different camera shots. That's just my personal preference on reading into the camera angles. I wonder if there's a setting somewhere that you could do that. In the meantime, I have no Pokeballs! I have potions, though. Okay. Not where I thought this was going. Alright, so I'm going to be a little bit pressed to actually make this distance, so let's grab a couple of levels real fast. Well, we're still also near the professor's lab, so that I can actually heal up, rather than having to faint every time. Another level 3 could be pushing my luck with this. Pokemon following you is a fun mechanic when implemented right. Some implementations make me want make me want to Pokemon gun myself in Minecraft. I didn't realize we had an Oranberry. I guess yay, but also whoops, because would have been nice to have known that beforehand. Anyways, which implementations are you referencing that were particularly bad? Obviously, you know, I haven't played every single Pokemon version out there, but, like, at least offhand, I can't think of any time that I necessarily hate it. Oh, that's kind of cool. What is the boost of 7? Is that the total there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think that's the total there. That is interesting, though, that it's actually telling you what your total stat gain across the spread for your level up. Completely unneeded, but, you know, fun little bonus. Alright, we got Silver over there. Hold up, Professor. I was heading around, but then, you know, things happened. Pokemon started getting a little hurt. The Sword and Shield DLC. That's why I made it an aforementioned Okay. I'm trying to remember how it was different in Sword and Shield than it was in the base of it. I think in my memory I'm merging Sword and Shield together with Scarlet and Violet. I think that's the problem I'm running into, is in my head I'm merging the two generations together. I'm having trouble remembering how exactly it was implemented in that era, which, if anything, probably verifies your claim more than anything, because, like, it was bad enough that I can't even separate it out in my memory, so, like, how good could it really have been? Well, that was a good bit of damage. You son of a bitch! don't you identify me. Is that stab bonus going to be enough to take you out? Not even. It basically makes my water gun the equivalent of Scratch. Got it. I do remember that I think it showed up in very limited use case with Pokemon. God, what game was that one? The Let's Go games. Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. And I think the only reason that I was particularly remembering that one as being possibly better than it really might have been is I am looking at that in my memory with rose-tinted glasses because I was allowed to ride an Arcanine around the field, and that is instantly an incredible bias lean that I have to admit to. Pop a potion on Totodile. Definitely, gameplay is like absolutely Pokemon adjacent, but you can tell it's clearly running on a very different engine. Because even while going through these things, you're getting details and situations that just don't feel proper in the flow for like a Pokemon game. Like, again, I used a potion and it had to tell me that I was out of potions. Like, I know I was out of potions, I just used the last one I had. Same thing with when we leveled up, we got the bonus there of it telling us how many, what the stat spread we actually got came to as a total. Am I not able to go one more over? There we go. I do want to get to, like, maybe where we can see an evolution, or at least get to capture some Pokemon, because, like, if we're not at least catching Pokemon, we haven't even seen that animation. How are we going to be catching Pokemon in this 3D space? What is that going to look like visually? I would also like to see, like, the evolution process. Oh man, one more fight and we're kind of right at the edge of town here. Do we have the health for it? We absolutely don't have the health for it. Let's try to run. There we go. On the plus side, we're like right there. I have to say, given that this is at the first person view, I love the Pokemon centers and the Pokemon marked in the distance. It's like, I don't even know if they're like super common anymore. I see a lot of modern, when a new McDonald's gets put up, a lot of the ones I've seen that are newer, not that are the older styles getting revamped. The newer ones all get like the short, stumpy McDonald's golden arches, right? Like the sign exists, but it's right out front, and it's just to tell you that it's a McDonald's when you're driving by. But you don't get the big, glorious, off in the distance, these are the golden arches, find your McDonald's here, that you can see from like a mile off because it just towers over all the trees. This gives me that feeling of like leaving school when I was in high school, walking home or something, and you just see the signs off in the distance. It made for great markers to also be able to tell where you were while you were traveling home. Oh! Oh, this is kind of interesting. It's very empty, but also very true to form. Given how empty this feels, I'm curious with all the shelves from the Pokemart, how that's going to make it a little different. The Pokemon had a terrible time keeping up with you. Same problem in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, actually. Sword and Shield was arguably worse because you couldn't really interact with them. What I remember about, man, the only thing I remember about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is that I enjoyed it as a Nuzlocke run. But, like, I can't tell you anything about the actual gameplay. Other than it was Pokemon. It was very muted Pokemon. Again, it had the same problem. Everybody who's played it has already heard this a million times. it had the problem of literally being a 1-to-1 of Diamond and Pearl. And I think too many people don't remember Diamond and Pearl accurately. I have $3,000. Sweet. Give me 3 of these. In fact, give me 2 more. They don't remember Diamond and Pearl. Oh, I can interact with it. It looks like your Pokemon... What? Yes? What did it just give me? So on the plus side, even Totodile can pick up items. Okay, which one? There we go. That gives me that. That's the pause menu. I don't want the pause menu. There we go. What is a sticky wing? That is terrible text. That is itty bitty. It is a feather that sticks to other Pokemon that holds it. Oh, it's a feather that sticks to other feathers. A Pokemon that holds it will find more feathers. So, if I give that to my Totodile, I assume, like, there's those feathers that, like, alter your stats or whatever. I wonder if that's how that'll work. Also weird that it has that, but also, started with an Oranberry, so it definitely picked that up and found that along the way. Hey Rich, how are you doing? Hopefully things are going well. Just saw you stop in. Hope you're doing well. About to start dinner, hot dogs and fries. I have recently started, and I don't know why, but I have started basically, when I serve myself up my hot dog, I put that nice piece of meat between the buns, and then I line it with the actual fries and just put extra ketchup on it. I don't know why I started doing that. I don't know where I picked that up from. I don't know where that thought came from at any point. But it's one of those things that I've just kind of started doing, and I have no explanation for it. Alright, let's keep this going. I am curious now how they're gonna do the rival interaction, because, like, doesn't the rival kind of force his way past you? So I wonder how that's gonna look in the 3D space. Like, am I actually gonna have this guy just run full on at me from off in the distance? Because we had a long pathway visually when we were working our way. Ooh, physical attack goes up to 2. When we were heading out to the other town. Green apricorn tree. Yeah, give me that. Give me that apricorn. God, I don't remember which Pokeball the green one makes. Was that the Quick Ball? It gave you a feather from a Reddit mod's pillow. Oh God, oh, that is a terrible interpretation for why it is sticky. You know what, Totodile? Don't. We're just gonna throw that away and, I don't know, bathe you in, just get a big bucket of hand sanitizer, dump you in it, and then light you on fire. We need to cleanse the problem at the source. But yeah, with this game in particular, the element of it that I remember appreciating and loving as much as I did, it's not doing anything like super special as far as the Pokemon involvement goes, but it is absolutely giving you a very new way to look at the world. This is the same world you've always known, but it's delivered in a different way. Also, like I said before, a lot of these games that have this grid-style first-person view, they're especially ones that don't like make you like hardcore dedicate to like live-action combat or anything like that. They let the combat stick in, but they let you have a little bit of fun with the exploration element side of things. I have an affinity for games of this style and feel gameplay-wise. And I really think that it just kind of goes back to a lot of the early video games that I remember playing. Hello, hello! You must be Ian. Professor Elm said that you would visit. This is what I want Professor Elm to examine. You have received the mystery egg! Literally a new perspective, absolutely. I know a couple who run a Pokemon daycare service. They gave me that egg. I was intrigued, so I sent mail to Professor Elm. For Pokemon evolution, Professor Elm is the authority. Even Professor Oak here recognizes that. If my assumption is correct, Professor, Elm will know. If my assumption is correct, I'm sorry, the spacing threw me off. Professor Elm will know it. Jesus Christ! He just came rushing over. So, again, given the first-person view, we didn't see him turn around the table. He is just out of view, comes over, grabs our shoulder, and shakes us violently. Aha! So you're Ian! I'm Oak, a Pokemon researcher. I was just visiting my old friend, Mr. Pokemon. I heard you were running an errand for Professor Elm. So I waited here. Oh, what's this? Oh, rare Pokemon. Let's see. I see. I understand why Professor Elm gave you a Pokemon for this errand. To researchers like Professor Elm and I, Pokemon are our friends. He saw that you would treat your Pokemon with love and care. Ah, you seem to be dependable. How would you like to help me out? See, this is the latest version of the Pokédex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's high-tech. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Professor Oak, I'd hate to tell you, but these days, anything actually calling itself a legitimate encyclopedia probably isn't high-tech anymore. Richard, I've actually played a bit of this one, believe it or not. Honestly, you get around a lot with a lot of the Pokemon. I'm gonna call it Pokemon clone. It's not the most accurate term, but that's what I'm gonna call it. You get around a lot with a lot of Pokéclone type games, so I'm not all that surprised. Especially because, again, with this one in particular, maybe, and I'm willing to admit, my memory could be wildly wrong. I think the earlier iterations of this could even go back maybe 10 years. I don't know why that sticks in my memory so firmly, but if not, it's pretty close. Go meet many kinds of Pokemon and complete that Pokédex. But I've stayed too long. I have to get to Goldenrod for my usual radio show. Ian, I have a feeling that, I assume that was supposed to be that this is not the last time we'll meet? Let's exchange numbers, just to be on the safe side. Imagine just someone as iconic within the world as Professor Oak meets you for the first time and is just like, here, have my personal cell phone number. Not my aide, not people who know how to get a hold of me. My personal cell phone number. I'm in the middle of my radio show. You can call me at a drop of a hat. You are returning to Professor Elm? Here, your Pokemon should have some rest. Professor Elm opens the email and is greeted with an especially... Oh no. The link to the actual message is in its mouth. Look, Pokemon has made it canon that there was once upon a time in which men, Pokemon and people, mankind, had interspecies relations. To what end and to what extent is left to the reader's interpretation. You can tell where the internet goes with it. But they were certainly to some degree. And with that said, there is no way there are not people that have made the gooning of Pokemon in universe at least unheard of. Give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. I found this one by accident, maybe in 2021 or 2022, did not realize it was that old. The reason that I think it was that old is... Well, okay. Hello, Ian? It's a disaster. It's just terrible. What should I do? Oh no. Please, get back here now. Alright, so, the reason that I think this is that old is I have a distinct memory playing this game in another household, and that would put it at approximately ballpark 10 years old. But I can't commit to that with the level of authority I wish I could, because I'm digging too deep into memories that, you know, as much as I'd love to be able to remember things like this a little bit more fondly, there are other things I have to remember a little bit more consistently. If Pokemon were real, a lot of y'all would be in jail, and I don't mean for the animal Yeah, no, I suppose the only concern I have there is how true is the words of the Joker. Are there laws against the Pokemon, and are we just, like, left in the dark about it because, well, they don't have to talk about it because your main character's not supposed to be into that stuff? Are there no laws about against the Pokemon, or do we just not get to have to know them? I also think I'm going the wrong way. I suppose I'm gonna put that in the same category as why that there's some benefit to this viewpoint. I would never get lost in this world if this was like the standard traditional top-down camera angle, because you always know that north is the same direction no matter what you're doing, what you're looking at. The world does not rotate upon itself like this one does. Alright, so going up here, I do think this is the way I'm going. Okay. I saw the bug catcher and, like, confused myself there. So did you look it up? It is a decade old as of this November this year? Oh, Sun and Moon is a decade old now. Man, I know the DS was out. I don't know if the 3DS was out. The 3DS might have been out by that time. But yeah, man, telling me that Sun and Moon is a decade old really makes me feel old now. God, how old is the PS2? Like, that's gotta be hitting way up there in years. And like, for a lot of people, that is considered to be widely one of the greatest consoles ever. So it's as old as Pokemon Sun and Moon then. Sun and Moon is a decade old now. And to clarify, I do not have a thing for any Pokemon. I view them all too much like real animals. I just want to pet them. Caesacacnia. Yeah, Hand's gonna be feeling that one later. I like those ones more than most people, not gonna lie. But really, a decade. I had the 3DS before I moved to Tamaqua? And I moved here in 2016, so I can confirm it was around. Alright. The other thing there is... my brain was going somewhere, and I completely lost track of where I was going. Oh, yeah, it was about the Sun and Moon. I didn't mind Sun and Moon. I know it gets a lot of hate. I think there's a lot worse that Pokemon has done. My thing is, I didn't mind Sun and Moon. I actually liked Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. However, I have the same complaint with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that I have with Black and White 2. And that is just, you revisited the region far too quickly in order to continue telling, or even retelling a story that you shouldn't have done it that way. Either you should have just not released Sun and Moon and just released the Ultra, or you should have figured out a better way to interpret the story stuff. If you're gonna do a continuation, you really should have some sort of breakup game in between. You shouldn't just do one then the other. With Black and White and Black 2 White 2, it felt too close, and it feels the same way with Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But I have gone back and played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I can't say I've done the same thing for Sun and Moon. And with Black and White, it's the same thing. I've gone back and played Black 2 and White 2. I can't say I've done that for Black and White. Yeah. Pokemon is wasted on a wimp like me, says the guy who is going to be stomped by me every time we have an interaction. Because if nothing else, the story pretty much dictates that that must happen. So, I actually have a fun story to share regarding the rival battle in Gold and Silver. So, all the way back in Gold and Silver, when it first released, and I played it for the first time, I was the kind of kid that got super attached to my Pokemon, and I was never one to start new games. I would actually buy used copies of the games if I wanted to play them again. Because I didn't want to get rid of my friends. They were my pals. I traveled with them, it was the whole thing. So, when I got to Gold and Silver for my first playthrough, I was young enough that I saw the rival's name was a bunch of question marks, and I wasn't sure how to interpret that. By the way, this fight's gonna last a little longer than I wanted to. I probably should have opened up his rage. Let's switch over to that right now. Anyways, I was young, naive, and a little bit stupid. I saw that the rival's name was a bunch of question marks, and so my thinking was, for whatever reason, we don't hear his name. I know he tells us his name, but it still came up as question marks, right? So I thought, I don't know what his name is. So it just comes across as a couple of question marks. So when Officer Jenny asks you what the guy's name was, in my head, I was just like, I don't know. He didn't tell me what his name was. Or no, not that he didn't tell me, but I don't have his name to give you. So when it opened up the dialogue box and was just like, what was his name? I was like, it's 3 question marks. Like, I don't know. I thought they were going to give him a name, like, over time, and it was going to be exposed to me. And it wasn't until, like, several runnings into him later that I was like, oh, no, it's just going to be that forever. That was me picking his name. But also, I didn't want to start the game over because, I had so many Pokemon by then. It wasn't like I was, like, restarting with just my starter by the time I picked up on what I had done. So, I played through the entire game with my rival's name being 3 question marks. To my understanding, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were exactly the same, just with some stuff added. That's what I recall, but I didn't want to, I don't want to say too strongly on that, because it's so old. I'm absolutely certain I'm going to misremember a lot of things. I do remember, though, that, what was it, Solgaleo, or I think that's what the name was, when it merges with, again, I'm thinking about Pokemon that are not as strongly committed to memory, when it's merged with, Necrozma, it looks so much like, if you've ever seen the old Zoids anime, it looks like, wow, like one patch of grass and I get a fight in it. I was trying to avoid the fight part of that, so, let me just pop a potion. Anyways, if you're familiar with Zoids, the fused Necrozma Solgaleo looks so much like the old Blade Liger design that I absolutely adored it because of that, because I'm a big fan of Zoids. I'm a big fan of a lot of mech series. Zoids was actually my first one. I got into that before I got into, like, Gundam and other things. And I got into Zoids back when, like, Zoids was still super niche. I don't even think the first anime we got in the States even aired yet. I think I was buying the models before that even happened. But yeah, when it comes to, Bit Cloud was from New Century, but what was Chaotic Century? Van? I think his name was Van. But I remember watching Van in the Blade Liger and just thinking, like, that was so cool. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Get locked in for the story beat. I'd rather pet a Cacnea than a Grimer. Well, yes. Wasn't there something eventually that, what was it? I think it was Gloom. I think Gloom was the exception to the rule, but there have been a number of stinky Pokemon, but I think it was like Gloom and Vileplume and all of them. Even though they're very stinky and smelly, to the person that they grow attached to, you aren't susceptible to their smell or whatever it is. Like, when they're calm, they don't have to be all super stinky. I bet petting a Rotom would probably be like pressing your hand against the CRT monitor. I appreciate that a lot more than I was thinking. My brain goes to, like, I want to pet my Rotom, but it's like putting a fork in the electrical outlet. You know, you can do it, but probably not a smart idea for obvious reasons. The static electricity thing is a lot more comforting of a thought. What? You battled a trainer like that? Also, I thought it was Officer Jenny originally. I didn't think it was the male police officer. I suppose it might have been. Again, I'm being asked to remember games that I played so many years ago. There's no way I'm going to remember the minute details like that. Alright, let's give him just a random generic game. We're going to go with Kyle. He seems like a Kyle. So, Kyle was his name. Yes, and my controller is constantly disconnecting again. I really just need to commit to buying a new one. Thanks for helping my investigation. So, Ellen? What's up? Ian, this is terrible. Oh yes, what was Mr. Pokemon's big discovery? This? But, is it a Pokemon egg? If it is a great discovery. What? Professor Oak gave you a Pokedex and his number? Is that true? That's incredible. He is superb at seeing the potential of people as trainers. Wow, Ian. You may have what it takes to become the champion. You seem to be getting on great with Pokemon too. You should take the Pokemon Gym Challenge, and I should slow down my reading long enough to be able to actually see the words before I say them. The closest gym would be the one in Violet City. Ian, the road to the championship will be a long one. Before you leave, make sure that you talk to your mom. Alright, well, we're gonna see what's going on with Totodile here. Aww, slipped on the floor and seems likely to fall. I am going to try to save this here and figure out how I can do that. Either I saved my game or I lost everything, and I don't know which just happened. Anyways, I think that's a pretty decent first look into some of the games we have going on today. Give me 1 minute while I swap over. Let me get rid of that. There we go. How's that for a peek behind the curtains there? All right. Unfortunately, I am in a situation where I am going to have to launch all of these and reconfigure the video capturing in real time, because this is not going to be too clean of a job here, so bear with me. Let's see, what's a good one to go with next? You know what, we got people here who are a fan of this. I am going to mute the audio pickup for this for just a moment, because I don't know how loud this is going to be when it starts up. And while that is getting ready to launch, I need to get this ready to pick up the video. Nope. Sorry about this. Still trying to get this squared away. There we go. All right. Is that going to capture this in real time? Yes, it is. Sweet. No longer needing to please hold. Let's get this going. So this is one that is going to be a little bit of an interesting treat. This is one that's rather old, and for God's sake, my controller, I feel like I just want to throw it through the wall. I can't tell if this is maybe running a little fast or not. Seems like maybe a little bit. But this is, I was thinking it was going to be controller compatible, but maybe it is not. All right. Yeah, I know. Controller's just going to unplug it, I guess. There we go. If it's going to keep freaking out, I'm going to have to figure out how to play all of these with the keyboard, because I am not fighting that controller any longer. Rotom is also one of Game Freak's early game mascot, Pulseman, as a Pokemon. Yes, I have heard that before. I do not know Pulseman too well. That might explain why it's all over the place in modern games. Pulseman was essentially Sega's Mega Man clone. I love mentioning that fact because it makes me feel smart. And we all like feeling smart. Yes, I know, the real-time clock is not enabled. It is enabled, it for some reason, it just does not work on the emulator. I tried. So, if you haven't figured it out by now, I think the theming of this game is going to be made pretty apparent and obvious. Hello there, glad to meet you. I believe this game does not do a lot of text changes. However, we do get a couple differences regarding what we're getting as Pokemon. We are going to be playing Pokemon with Yu-Gi-Oh! Creatures on this one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Fire Red, not to be confused with Moemon or the Dragon Ball one. I actually have a couple iterations of Moemon that I have thought about streaming, but I don't know enough about Moemon conceptually to know if that is safe for streams or not. I have seen other people do videos of them, but I don't know how, we're going to stick with being a boy, I don't know how edited they might or might not have to be. My name is, and it's really weird that I got to use the keyboard this way. I'm so not used to keyboard in Pokemon. There we go. Right, so your name is Ian. Yes. Part of the problem with doing it this way is, unfortunately, I am relegated to using my keyboard that is very clickety-clackety, so I apologize, guys, but if I'm going to experience this is kind of just the middle ground I've got to go to, because I thought it would be controller supported. It is, unfortunately, not. I swear it was earlier. The DBZ Infinite Fusion is an April Fool's version of Infinite Fusion. It's not as good as Infinite Fusion, but I enjoyed it. Oh, my rival's name. We're going to go with, you know what? We can do this here. We can't do this in modern ones. There we go. Yes, it was. Trust me, old man with Alzheimer's. I remember your grandson's name quite well. Grabbing a drink. If I am allowed the luxury, why not? Time to set up game settings. Do not mash A. Okay. Pick your difficulty. We're just going to go with standard for now. Would you like to play with a level cap? No, if I'm playing on standard, that should be the default to the games, and that is not, I can have randomizers? Yo, fuck it, let's put a randomizer on. Yes, monsters have been randomized. Do you want important battles like gym leaders to also have their team randomized? That I'm going to say no to. Important battles are not randomized. Would you like to randomize abilities? Also no. I just want to randomize the actual Pokemon so that we can see a bunch of weird ones that seem really out of place. Would you like to randomize learn sets? Also no. Would you like to explore the multiple grinding? Can I make grinding easier? No EVs. EVs are removed. With semi-grinding mode, all monsters have max EVs. With the minimal grinding mode, all monsters have maximum. Oh, God, just... Let's go with minimal grinding. If we're going to be streaming it, and we're not going to be dedicated to doing a full playthrough, I'm just going to go with that. I am not going to play with infinite rare candies, though. That seems a little too much. I guess do a default. I will say, they gave you a lot of customization options, which is pretty nice. It can't be that late. Why is it dark out? I wonder what it defaults the clock to being then. Probably midnight. I would have went with ass hat, but ass also works. The point being is if the game will let me put in the cursings, I shall put in the cursings. You need your own Pokemon. You can't go in the tall grass. There are wild Pokemon there. You need a gun. Professor Oak just hands the 10-year-old a Glock. There you are. Go get him, kid. Gramps, I'm fed up with waiting. Ass? Let me think. Oh, that's right. I told you. I told you to come. Just wait. Here, Ian. There are 3 Pokemon here. The Pokemon are held inside these Pokeballs. When I was young, I was a serious Yu-Gi-Oh! Trainer. But now, in my old age, I only have these 3 left. You can have one. Go on and choose. No fair. What about me? Be a patient, ass. You can have one, too. Alright, it looks like run mode is just like always on for default. I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! The fuck is you? Illusion Magician. It's very easy to raise. So, Ian, do you want to go with Illusion Magician? I don't trust any of what that is. Hold on. I think that, isn't that like X-Head Cannon? That is not Paladin of White Dragon. It is one worth raising. So, Ian, you've decided on Paladin of White Dragon? Not necessarily. Oh, that is also not the Black Chick. That is going to be one of the Karibo clones. Look, I kind of think if I knew that was Red Eye's Black Chick, I'd be for it. But I'm going to go with the X-Head Cannon. I'm waiting for Rigid to tell me, like, Ian, that was not the Illusion Magician or whatever. I think I remember the Illusion Magician. Yes. Oh, okay, but it does tell me that it's the X-Head Cannon. Okay, so we're going to stick with that then. Oh, hey, Keegs, what's up? You, missed the 3D Pokemon World earlier, but this is only the second one we're checking out so far. Pokemon Fire Red, but with Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Poké-Duel, and this is an old enough game that there's like a version 4.0 that's out. So this is, the 4th iteration of this game. I like black chicks, but that's not what I mean when I say it. No. Look, clearly, Keegs, you are just incredibly uncultured. What part of the world experience are you missing out here? When you're going to be getting black chicks, you're going to be getting hairy black balls. Oh, that was terrible. Oh. That's Curry Babylon, and you picked the robot face. You know what? My option was hairy black balls, a robot, and a tentacle monster. I feel I made an acceptable choice. Meanwhile, leave it to ass to gravitate towards the tentacle monster. I don't think he got the illusion magician. And if he did, that is a hell of an illusion it gave him. Wait, Ian, let's check out our Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. Come on, I'll take you on. Get the hell away from me with that thing. Don't threaten me with a good time. Oh! So it did actually give him the illusion magician, though. So pushy as always. Ian, you've never had a Pokemon battle before? A Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle? A Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle is when trainers pit their Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters against each other. The trainer that makes the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster faint by lowering the life points to 0 wins. But rather than talking about it, you'll learn more from experience. Try dueling and see for yourself. Look, I would love to try dueling. You know, I was going to say, but you didn't give me a gun, but X-Head Cannon is absolutely rocking 2 guns. If anything, I am well equipped for a duel of any variety. All right, there we go. Oh, and X-Head Cannon comes with static, which is also really nice. Especially in the early game. Holy shit, is that good in the early game. For me to just, like, force you to... Because, like, there are very few Pokemon that at the lower levels have a lot of, like, special or, like non-physical attacking moves. So for me to have something that is just immediately putting you into static... Kinda pretty good. We are losing a lot of defense, though, it seems. Chicken nuggets in the air fryer. Nice. I picked up some really super heavy, dense bread. And so I made myself a fantastic ham sandwich for dinner, which... I'm sure to anybody else out there is just like, what the hell are you talking about, Ian? That's a lunch, not a dinner. I don't care. I wanted my ham and cheese sandwich. What song is this? Oh, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! GX! I was like, no, wait. I recognize this, but it's super digitized and done in the... Oh, my brain is fried. Pixelated isn't the word I'm looking for, but it's in that GBA chiptune. It's a very chiptuned version of it. Took me a second there to pick up what exact song that was, though. Look, I copied what it said on one of those trainer tip signs. Press start to open the menu. Congratulations, you opened the menu and stood there silently. I'm sorry, you... What? I did put it on random, so... I guess I put up with what I got, but that's, I don't feel very even. I don't feel very even. Bye. Where's the small little baby one? There we go. That feels a little more doable. Especially because this is base form Skull Servant and not the new one. Oh. Oh, it's ghost type. Got it. I may or may not have set myself up for a very bad series of circumstances there. I don't know if you're a ghost or not. Okay, I can at least hit you. How are you getting another berry? How many berries do I have? Yeah, the GBA sound font. Yes, but it is... Leveling is going to be hard for me. Okay. What do we have here? Sweet free potion. Do I have anything else sitting around? Because, I don't like my chances of being able to level up in that area. I need something fightable. What the Super Metroid is this motherfucker? This looks like the plant thing you fight in Super Metroid. You bitch! Iron Barbs also feels very fitting for the boss fight that I'm specifically thinking about in Super Metroid. I can't think of the monster's name. But it's literally just it's a big plant monster. Oh, it's just gonna outdo me with this. I'm gonna sit here and have to pepper it down from doing 1 damage at a time. I'm gonna have to pump my potion just because the iron barbs are gonna wear me down. But I have nothing else here I can fight. At level 4, though, I hope it gives enough experience that I'm going to level up from it so that at the very least, maybe I can hurt other things a little more. Fiend probably translate to dark type in this game. Quite possibly. But I would also wonder if maybe they're going to play with that, especially with the dual typing. Like, if you're going to have the Red Eyes Black Dragon, like, I don't know what kind of... How the fuck is he constantly getting his berry back? Like, he's using it every fight, and I thought it kind of used up. You bastard. Bide. Alright, defense mode. I am not going to let you build up bide damage on me. Not that special defense is going to give me much of anything. It'll go down eventually, right? Like that's the way this works. Eventually, it just got to die. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, I was gonna say I'm not even sure if I care that it did that. I guess he's Joe Biden time. Joe Biden his time. Damn it. Still didn't level me up. Alright, I'm gonna go heal. I'm gonna go progress in the story. And we're gonna go see if maybe the forest gives me a little bit better of a time. Please heal my Pokemon. I made hard choices knowing what I was gonna be going into. But anyways, like I was saying about the Red Eyes Black Dragon, like, would you make it, like, Dark type just kind of seems fitting, but then also it's the dragon. Do you make it dragon type? Do you just Dark Dragon right out of the gate? Because, like, one of the default Pokemon, if I didn't change them, seemed like it was going to be a Red Eyes Black chick. Also, I'm not going to lie, the White Paladin sounds like a really badass starting Pokemon. I am going to need literally any sort of elemental damage just so I can what I'm about to say sounds really wrong. Grind on the Skull Servants. I wish there was a way for me to have said that accurately. How did I miss you before? Also, Keegs, what dipping sauce are you using on your nuggies? Please tell me you are more than a basic either ranch dressing or ketchup guy. Alright, just pump on through the... I need to pick my words better. Pump on through the dialogue with ass. I was gonna say pump on through the ass scene, but like that is definitely a very different Pokemon game. We don't have nearly enough Lopunny on screen for that game to be played. I wonder, because they're a low enough level, can I get by just like cheap shotting my way into capturing a Zoa with a Pokeball? Like, there's no way it should work, but could it maybe work? I love that you know the lore of the cards as well as you do. Skull Servant is married to Lady in White. You can't! Look, I didn't say I was gonna bet it. Look, the ass scene was already here. Skull Servant wasn't here for that. But, you know, a couple of drinks at the club, you don't know what he's gonna be up to. Nobody quote me on this, but the thought went to, like, how far are we going to call it cheating? Like, there's no penetration. There's nothing to penetrate with him. The man is all bone. His bones are hard all the time. God, I was going to say, please be low level. It's just not going to be low level. All right, I'm gonna go for the dumb attempt. Give it a shot. See what happens. All right, sugar-free barbecue sauce. At least we're not talking ketchup. It was that or sugar-free ketchup. Yeah, no, we're not. We gotta have you be above ketchup level, Keegs. Barbecue sauce is fine. It's bog standard, but it's at least not like I can't handle like barbecue sauce. I gotta go to ranch, the most mundane, plain garbage thing I can. Don't get me wrong, ranch is totally fine, but like, come on, we've got more fun dipping sauces out there, right? Oh hey, I don't have to deal with the old man. Son of a... I just lost a shadow duel and I'm about to get sucked into the shadow realm. Quickly, before I go, give me your Pokedex so I may update it. You now have access to the Dex Nav. Please fulfill my dream and complete the Pokedex. I can't fight the shadows any longer. Holy shit, they just killed an old man. This game literally opened up with, by the way, let's kill an old man. A level 5 fiend. I don't like my chances with that because it is going to teleport away anyways. Oh god, if I picked that as my starter, would I only have access to teleport? Now it's level 6. Just stop. Give me something that I can actually fight. Do you have to? I won't let you through. With the power of Exodia, I'll banish you to the Shadow Realm. I'm a little worried about what you're gonna have, because I don't feel up to the random possible fight. I don't feel up to the random fight. Oh god, and it's a higher level than me. I haven't even been able to fight a standard one of these. Yeah, I don't. I don't like the direction this one's gonna go, guys. Technically, I had an avenue that I could have farmed for experience if I was looking at being, like, legitimately dedicated to going through this game. However, I don't want to sit here and farm a monster that is going to be pushing me to the point of, yeah. I'm glad that wasn't a shadow game, though. But I feel like that was a good look into this game, and, you know, honestly, really cool that they have a whole bunch of features. And per that guy that we talked to back at the lab, they're features that you can toggle on and off. So, you know, you wanna play on a little harder difficulty, you can switch over to that. You want to play a little easier, you can definitely go with that too. But I think I'm going to be swapping out of this game because the only way forward with what I have set up is going to be a lot of grinding. And I don't think I want to commit to it under those circumstances. I do have another one here that is one that I really want to take a look into and see a lot of the finer details around. Please bear with me while I get this one going. Let me swap this over. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. Sorry, I have an issue with how it is constantly swapping these over to. Do I have the audio on here too? Guys, nobody told me that the Yu-Gi-Oh game didn't have any audio. I forgot to turn the audio back on. Were you guys able to hear it? Well, it's audible now. I am sorry about that. So this one is this gym of mine, and in this one you actually get to run your own gym, which is a really cool mechanic. I know very little about this game other than at the premise you're supposed to be able to run your own gym. So let's see what this one's about. I didn't realize it was off. Oh no. I like ketchup for chicken tenders. All right, let me go through here. We got sauce discussions. I am a what is that Asian sauce I have? It is a sweet chili sauce. I'm a big fan of using that when I'm doing like chicken tenders or chicken nuggets. But if I'm doing like a chicken sandwich, I will switch over to what is that? Alright, but yeah, I would switch over to like a barbecue sauce. Hold on one second, I got a message from Tara I need to read into. I'm sorry. Let me explain the context of what I had to step aside to read there. So, if you don't know, my house here is not uncommon to exotic pets. I've shared a couple of pictures of a few in the Discord. Got some snakes, got some tortoises. Over the course of the time, tarantulas, scorpions. We've had venomous pets. I'm going all the way back to like when my brother was here. We've even had like one instance of a rare snake that was actually, when you hear a lot of people talk about like, oh, is that snake poisonous? They usually mean venomous. I have actually had a technically poisonous snake. If it bites you, it doesn't matter, but if you bite it, you get sick. That kind of poisonous. But we've had a couple of, venomous animals across the multitude of the timeline that all the way spreads back to. But Tara is now plotting with my brother, by the sounds of it, to get a pet viper. So I don't know what the future holds for that, but I might have to figure out one of my locked cages again. I played a bit of this one. Oh, this is the one you told me about. I lost the sauce talk. I lost the sauce. Conversation earlier. Honey mustard is my go-to dipping sauce for tendies. Honey mustard is a good one. I like the honey mustard sauce over the honey mustard. There is a distinction between the two. If I wasn't already high in my fats, I would have gone with the buffalo sauce. That's a good choice. Kroger has a sauce simply called burger sauce that I got fairly recently. It works well with chicken sandwiches as well. I bet that's one of those mix it together, mayonnaise, ketchups, maybe some barbecue sauce thing. Alright, how am I getting this going? There we go. Gym leader registration starting. Please be patient. Hello, sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to Gym Leader Registration. This program is designed to help ensure the gym you take over is customized to fit how you battle. You have been chosen for your skill and promise as a trainer. We know you won't let us down. If you need help, I am certainly capable of giving it. Well then, without further ado, your job is to test the strength of local trainers and ensure only the best of the best make it to the champion. Guys, give me 1 minute. I have to step away for a bit here. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. Alright, I apologize for that. I am back, and I did have a question on the chat here that I want to get to. Let me get my headphones back on. So I'm gonna answer this one here. What is the most unique pet you've ever had, if I may ask? And I did give a couple of answers in the chat, but I want to read those out loud for people who are not gonna, if anybody ever decides to come by and see this. Probably my favorite tarantula we've had was a Goody Sapphire. It was an absolute beautiful creature. And if you really want to look up good, beautiful pictures of just spiders that are pretty, that is the one I would say go to for looking at. I've also had a, what do they call it? It was like a something baboon. It might have just been like an orange baboon or an orangu or something like that. But it was, I always knew of it as the OBT, the orange bitey thing. It was a very hostile and aggressive and fast-moving tarantula. I believe both of those are of what they called the old world tarantulas, and as a result, they are some of the less common that you're gonna see. They're beautiful creatures. But my brother and I, many years back, we had a rescued Savannah monitor. The monitor was on death's door when we got it. We actually paid to take it to a proper vet, and the vet tells us that it's not likely to live. They offered for us to put it down. My brother and I did crazy research into this creature to figure out what it needs, what kind of environment it normally lives in. Obviously the Savannah, but you know, we wanted a lot of details, humidity level, heat levels, all of that stuff, right? And so we look into setting up a custom cage. Now, Savannah monitors, this is so many years back that Savannah monitors were not widespread pets at this time. Having one was very unique. You were still more likely to have people have the water monitor lizards, the Nile monitor. But there wasn't a lot of information on keeping in captivity Savannah monitor lizards. Let me go through this. If you want to read this, you can while I'm going through, but I'm going to let this just kind of go screen by screen just so that something's happening while I'm telling my story. So my brother and I set up a custom cage for the monitor lizard. And for a very long while, it was deemed by most people trying to figure out how to keep this pet, that if you wanted to if you were wanting to build a cage for it, this is your blueprint. We were the first Google search, the first image search when you Googled for a Savannah monitor cage setup. And even right now, while I was away, I opened up Google and gave it a quick search. We are still within, I think it was the top 10 search results. I didn't exactly count them, but it's near the lower end of that top 10. But the idea that so many years ago we put so much work into keeping the Savannah monitor that we are still showing up when you're looking at what is a good cage setup to consider. So yeah, those are some of the big ones that I would go to for telling the stories. I think the other one that I have that is worth mentioning is one that I currently still have. I do not have the original ones anymore, but I have some Hawaiian mourning geckos, and I oftentimes refer to them as my army of cloned lesbians. So the Hawaiian mourning geckos are one of the unique species that lay eggs that are clones of themselves. There are no males in the species, they're all women, hence why I refer to them as such. And as far as laying eggs go, although you don't need two of them for them to reproduce, there is a sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it mating ritual, they don't mate, but they do get together in groups, usually of two. I think the most I've seen within the ones I keep is 3 partaking in the ceremony. They have sort of a song and dance that they do. They kind of just look at each other, but it seems to be that that's what happens before they start laying eggs. So I don't know what you'd want to call it, how you'd want to refer to it as. You don't need them. It's not required to have more than one for them to lay eggs. But it seems like it helps. it helps like make the circumstances for them to consider doing that more reliable. And so right now I've got like 7 of them, all of differing ages, but they're also unique in the idea that they're of that species that doesn't require the other gender to procreate. Also, this means that I could buy 2 and have a continuing run of them for many years. As you are well aware, there is a certain restriction placed on gyms. Only, hold on. I did see some comments that I want to read as well. Just looked it up. Beautiful indeed. I assume that is about the tarantula. I know you're picking a fire-type gym leader and you're using an Arcanine somewhere in there. I'm not gonna lie. I've genuinely had the thought of doing exactly that, because if I was gonna have a gym, that's what I do. But I almost feel like that's too obvious, and I'm not sure what options are gonna give me for how to play with this. For example, can I have like a physically offensive gym? Can I pick like a stat block rather than a typing? If you go to, I think it's Norman's gym in Ruby Sapphire era, Owen, they have like, it's technically like a normal gym, but if you go through it, there are rooms in there that'll talk about like the stat block options, and so like things like that would be interesting. I think you may need to lower the game volume. Awesome, thank you for letting me know that, Keegs. Alright, I'm going to go a little bit lower than that. I did just lower it, but I'm going to go a little farther than that one. Alright, let me know if that's any bit better, or if you want me to increase it or lower it further. Okay, it's giving you a slight headache. Please let me know if that works for you, Keegs. I can go even lower. If I was a gym leader, I'd want to be a fighting type gym leader because it's my favorite type, and also because, look, Infernape's a good one, but Infernape also falls under fire type. Oh, whoops, that's right, I'm over. Wrong tab now. It'd probably be a double battle gym towards the end of the game. I'd probably go with normal type because that would be a good challenge. Honestly, normal type is heavily underlooked by a lot of people, but you get some really good move pools. You get immunity to ghost type moves. It also creates the possibility for some fun stalemate stuff there, so I could see that being fun. Also got to get Bunnelby. Alright, that seems better. Thank you very much for that. Alright. Oh geez. It seems some of our program's data is corrupted. Which picture is yours? Sorry about that. It took me a while to catch up on the, Well, you're not showing me 2 images, so we're gonna go with the masculine one. Oh! Okay, it was off to the side. I wonder why that was. You know, I'm not gonna question it too much. There we go. And I do apologize for the clicky-clackety. I mentioned it that unfortunately swapping over to the keyboard does mean I'm going to have to deal with the clickety-clackety. I can check to see if this game is more compatible with the controller. With the last one, the problem I ran into wasn't just that the controller was disconnecting, but it seemed like even when it was connected, the controller did not function. Let's see if this... Yeah, it's still not actually functioning even with the controller actually connected. You'll face fun times and tough challenges. Everything you do matters. Keep up appearances, young trainer. Let's get you started. Now, about the type you'll master. Please choose the gem that represents your partner's Pokemon's type. Well, unfortunately... Okay, hold on. Let me just see here. Just how far out does this all go? What type is this? Alright, dark type. Ghost. Obviously, we're going to have all the defaults, but... could have an... Like, ice type would be kind of fun. Ice does not get a lot of love. Dragon is pretty obvious. Dragon would be strong, too. That's psychic. Fairy. So they do have fairy type in this one as well. Alright, so you could rock a fairy type gym. That would be pretty awesome. I am going to go with fire type and go with the Arcanine build. It seems there are 3 Pokemon listed in my database with that type. Please select your partner. Fucking Growlithe! Just right out of the gate, absolutely. A nice choice for any trainer. A well-rounded Pokemon with no strategy. Well, fuck you! It can do at least decently. Is this your Pokemon? You asshole! Yes! I don't have to be beating down my baby boy like that, though. I got distracted for a bit. I'm trying to find the title of that Pokemon fan game I was telling you about with the survival elements. Also, I got the emulator handheld I forgot to mention. It's not the one I ordered. It's an older model of the same one. Oh, it is technically worse than the R36S, but I still am keeping this one. I hope it works at least the games you want to play consistently well enough. I could see Richie as the second gym with a Bunnelby, Baniri. Ooh, Herdier. Oh, a Smeargle would be very good for Rich, too. Oh, man, what is the baby, Whismur? I could also see Whismur being on there somewhere. I don't know where I would swap that out, but, like, I could see that one. Maybe swapped out for the Baniri. Smeargle sounds very fun for him, though. I am not going to give Growlithe a nickname. Ah, you must be the new gym leader. Welcome to the New Day Plain. You're taking over the gym in Umble City, yes? I'm the mayor there, Dalton. I'll be responsible for keeping you up to date and whatnot. One second, my dog's going ballistic. Alright, I apologize about that. That was my brother coming by. He's here to pick a couple of things up. Can I get your name? Ian. Wonderful. I can sense you'll do great. You certainly need to select the actual proper window before I get back to the game. Can't be worse than the last one. Well, shit. What happened? Let me see here. Smeargle is one I tend to forget about, but definitely sounds like a good choice. Baniri, maybe. Yeah, Herdier is definitely a good one. Whismur I do like, actually, so maybe that one. Also, fun fact, the first time I ever beat Norman's last slacking in Pokemon Ruby, it was with a level... Hold on. When I beat Norman's last Slacking, probably his strongest Pokemon, it was with a level 5 Whismur. Norman kept trying to use Focus Punch, and Uproar worked for beating it. That is kinda clever. I gotta respect that. I don't know what happened, but he just left the city to rot one day. What's worse is that this gang has taken up residency in the town recently. Even then, he did nothing about it. As such, some of the town folks are less than eager to have a gym leader. But don't worry, if you follow my advice, we'll reshape the image of a gym leader. So we are not only a new gym leader in a town that is relatively, I would say relatively unknown, given that it's not part of the mainline series, but we are replacing a gym leader that was kind of shit at his job, and now there's a gang that's running loose. We just got, oh, was it Dark City? What was the name of the city or town that I think it was where Ash caught caught the muck? There was like all of those Pokemon that were like super pissed off and angry. I might be combining two different episodes. But I remember one where they were like going into like a city district and there were a lot of like aggressive, angry Pokemon. It was a very Pikachu focused episode, if I recall. It might have been Dark City. This feels like some Dark City shenanigans. Alright, I'll be waiting for you in front of the gym. See you then. Alright. You did remember to bring everything with you, right? Pokedex, Pokegear, and your running shoes? Feel free to check before you get too far. There we go. Okay. I had to figure out what the controls were here. Out of curiosity, let's see what we're dealing with. So, we're going to be rocking a Fire-type gym, and there's a Fletchling right out front here. Please tell me I have some Pokeballs. I have nothing! Well then, how much validity is there? Okay, that one. Okay. I mean, Howl ups my physical attack. I don't think that helps me with Ember. At the very least, we did lower the Fletchling's attack. So we do have a pretty good advantage here. Although we both are critting left, right, and center, so that's not... That's a little chaotic. That's a pretty good first fight upon arrival. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was going to be an enemy trainer. I got a little headstrong and just started fighting wild Pokemon. Where? Uh-oh. Where's the pause button? I don't seem to have a pause button. There we go. Alright, now I can go through here, and I legitimately have nothing. Alright. So you're the new gym leader. Let's see what you've got. Can we not? I chose to fight wild Pokemon. I am sorry, Growlithe. I'm sorry about what I've done to you. Holy cow, the one health. I might have just scraped by the... Let's see what that does. I somehow managed to scrape by the thinnest skin of my taint. I don't know how that happened, but I managed to not lose with 5 health on my Growlithe. Alright, let's try to not push for that avenue again, though. Look, I feel like that's got to say something about my competency as the gym leader, right? I walked up with a beaten down Growlithe and still didn't just instantly get my shit rocked. Now, where's the Pokemon Center? There's the Mart, there's the gym, there we go. Hold up, Growlithe, I gotcha. My poor decision making. Please, please restore my Growlithe. And this is why nowadays I make sure to try leveling up all my Pokemon so I don't have that one leveled Pokemon and only win by luck, for the record. Hold up. Alright, I apologize about that. Alright, let me go through the comments that I missed here. I'd use a Scrafty, Toxicroak, Hitmonlee, and Infernape for my gym. Honestly, that's a pretty decent lineup. That's definitely something you'd have to be rocking a little bit later on, though. Scrafty because of his similar fashion sense to mine. Hitmonlee, my legs are naturally a good bit stronger than my arms. And to clarify, the handheld emulator I do like even if it's technically worse. It has some good game selections. Always good. I'm over here with the mental image of sparring with Toxicroak and using Poison Jab on my arm when I try to block and it just goes limp. Casually go to the bench and just start spraying antidote on it. Alright, so my brother came by. We a while back built a custom cage for housing poison dart frogs, which kind of funny since we're talking about Toxicroak here. It was built for housing poison dart frogs. My brother finally went out and picked them up, so we had to come by and get the cage. Cage is a little heavy to lift and carry for one person. So yeah, that was a whole thing. So I had to get that out to his vehicle. He's gonna have people there to help him when he gets there. But anyways, sorry about that. That's what all that was about. And I'm over on the wrong product, on the wrong window again. We've restored your Pokemon to full health. Thank you very much. We hope to see you again. I hope as the gym leader you don't have to see too much of me and you see more so other people I'm sending to you. Although, not unjustly. I feel like if I'm overpowered, I wonder how much they're gonna commit to me having to play the role of a gym leader, because if I'm genuinely just like overpowered, it does seem like that wouldn't be good for a gym leader either. You don't want to be like people's first gym. This is why I like how it was approached because we never really got good clarification for it until the, was it Origins? The Origins anime, where Brock specifically has like a whole lineup of a full squad of Pokemon and he intentionally takes some weaker ones for the gym challenge. We don't see that very often. It's implied still to this day that like gym leaders all have a more competent team, but even when they tried to implement that in Scarlet and Violet, like the idea being that you can go explore all you want, but like it doesn't change the fact that the gym leaders' teams are kind of locked in. So in my case, I think it was the Bug Lady that was like one of my end game gyms, and she's arguably supposed to be like what, your first or second gym? So yeah, it was like, I definitely picked a path that was not optimized for the way they're intending to deliver it to you, but, you know, it is open world and you got to explore it that way, but I wish, I wish the gyms, like, actually scaled to what you were gathering as you played through the game. Hope the locals, didn't treat you too poorly. Look, I had one interaction with one local once, and it was scary enough that I had to run over to the Pokemon Center. Mind you, I had a Pokemon battle before her, but... Anyhow, tomorrow is when you get down to business. You'd better be ready. Here, let me show you where you'll live while you're here. Sweet. I got the gym, and I don't have to live in it. I was kind of worried I was going to be that gym rat that has to sleep on the bench. This is your home. Get yourself set up, and meet me at the town hall afterwards. For the record, I have mentioned how there was a period in my life that I was, you know, homeless. And at that time, I was actually still technically at college. I don't want to get into too many details about when in my life that was, but during that period of time, I was in a position where sometimes I actually did just sleep at the gym. Alright, you need to get up, meet with the mayor, but the mayor is the one who sent me in here. Do I have any items in here? Withdraw item. Hey, we do have a potion. That's what I was looking for. Also, can I set it up so that like I can actually use items in my gym? Because a lot of gym trainers, they either like seem like they do and they have no issue with it, or they just like do not even acknowledge that items exist. I can't access the package from that side. Or maybe I'm pushing the wrong button again. There we go. I was probably pushing the wrong button because the controls are non-standard. Looks like everything is here. There's an envelope. There's a TM in here. It must be your gym's signature move. We got the flamethrower. I wish I could pick what my gym's signature move was, because flamethrower doesn't work too well with Arcanine. If I could take like Fire Fang, I'd much prefer that. I assume I probably have to teach this to Arcanine though, or Growlithe for now. It will be an Arcanine before long. All right, where is... Yeah, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to figure out where the gym... Is he at the gym? Maybe he's at the gym. I know the mayor wants to talk with me, but I was an idiot and didn't read everything, and so now I don't know where the gym... or where the mayor is. That doesn't look particularly friendly. That you? Is that you, Mr. Mayor? You are the daycare man. Okay. In Scarlet and Violet, they basically say that Katie's bug team is designed to be weaker because she's closest to Mezagoza and easier to get to compared to yada yada yada. Yes, I actually do remember that, but again, it makes little sense for her to be dedicated to that hardcore, especially if you're rocking up with already, you know, 6 gym badges or whatever under your belt. Like, there's no way that it's not exactly believable in the sense there to just be like, oh yeah, we're just going to ignore the fact that you're rocking up with 6 badges and still make you like actually fight me. Like, if you've got 6 badges and you're going up against her weaker team, at that point, why are they making you commit to it? Just hand it over. You're not going to beat whatever he's rocking with. Like, unless he's going to swap his team out for 6 Magikarp and sit there and splash the whole way. Like, you know he's competent enough to beat your early base level gym starting point. Alright, where the hell is the old man? If you can set some plans from the town hall, like, where is the town hall? Is it this place that I can't get to because there's a bunch of people? Oh my god, it is! Oh, okay. Rub my eyes in frustration over that. Alright, now that everyone has properly... I'm just used to Pokemon games. When you see a bunch of people lined up like this, it's not a story beat. It's like, come back later and we'll all have cleared out. Now that everyone has been properly shaken, it's time to lay down some new rules. This city is no longer named Umble. This is now named Garbage City. Next, everything here belongs to the Rogue Riders. You can keep the New Age city junk, but you will hand over your HP ups, revives, and rare candies. Next up, this one's important. Don't help out the gym leader. In fact, you should run them out of town as soon as possible. Finally, I don't like it when some idiot stares at me and doesn't say anything. Got something about that, punk? Alright, that's it. Now I'm mad. Get ready to faint? Yeah, they should have did the same thing with the wrong hat Crystal Clear did and make the gym scale. He strikes me as a guy who would listen to Korn. Alright, well, I guess this music, hold on a second. Give me just a minute here, guys. I'm turning it down even on my side. That is bad. Is that still too loud for you guys? Because that is a loud-ass song. This guy out here having to commit to items. Fool! Oh, hey, speaking of Scraggies. Well, at the very least, the Scraggy put up a hell of a lot more of a fight. Alright, I'm gonna adjust the audio back. Hopefully we don't have too many more of these fights, but like that was... I don't know where that came from. That was loud as heck right out of the gate. A lot of Pokemon newer ROM hacks fan games tend to use the song. I have no idea where it's from. I have no idea the source of that either, but like it was loud. Definitely a lot more than the other soundtracks. All right. Okay, is that the... I didn't pay attention to a sprite. All right, there we go. Ian, glad to see you came. I guess I'd better tell you why you need... what you'll need to know. Please, have a seat. First of all, you know a gym leader cannot use Pokemon that don't share a type with their gym. However, there is a caveat. You can use a maximum of 2 Pokemon that... I could have done anything and still done a Growlithe build. Oh, I could do that. I might do another new file later and do that. Because there are some alt builds based on what kind of Pokemon this has that I might swap over to. Because I could see myself doing man, Dark would be cool. Psychic would be an option too, but as long as I can keep Arcanine on hand, but if... Look, I've got a couple of Pokemon on mind. I'm thinking Umbreon. I am thinking... obviously Arcanine for the fire type, but I'm also thinking Mimikyu is an option. I don't know what Pokemon they're going to have available, so that's where I'm going with that. But yeah, you can use a maximum of 2 Pokemon that do not share a type with your gym. They have to know your gym's signature move, though. Oh! Okay, so it has to be a Pokemon that can learn the signature move even if it doesn't share the typing. That does make some challenges there. I would have to consider what moves Arcanine can learn and then try to base what alternate typings I would be going based off of that. I think Mimikyu is still Electric Ghost. God, I haven't looked at the Pokedex in a while. So if I did Electric, I wonder what move it is, because if I was going to say if it's not Thunderfang, I know that Arcanine can't learn it then. Damn it! That makes this really hard. Also, if you lose too many battles in a row, you forfeit your status as a gym leader. Same goes for if the public isn't too fond of you. Keep the people happy and your Pokemon strong. That is the base upon which great gym leaders are formed. Helping people out can bolster your reputation. Try asking around, especially if someone appears frantic or if they're looking around. Also, you can put money into helping improve. You can put your money into helping improve the city. Talk the man at the desk for plans that you can help invest in. Finally, you can recruit gym trainers. That's really cool. Check your mailbox to see if anyone has applied. It can help boost your reputation. Oh, and I refer to the mailbox outside your house, not the one on your computer. For starters, you should get a gym guide to assist you. Why don't you head home and check your mail? There may be some applications waiting for you. Alright. I thought this was just gonna be like a simple you sit in your gym base and wait. But like if there are... I'm thinking like, hear me out. I don't know what this looks like yet, and I just want to speculate. 2, 3, maybe even 4 applicants show up, and I get a little bit of customizations based on who it is that comes to my gym. If I'm going to be doing like a fire type gym, I don't exactly want to be having like a bunch of swimmers running around, or maybe I do. Maybe there's some like ways to apply that. Like But the idea that, like, maybe I can customize what trainer types sit around within my gym would be kind of cool. Oh, there's 3 applications. Okay. There's the gym guy, the old gym guy, and the gym girl. Look, I'm the only gym guy right now, so let's go with the girl. A lass looking to take a break from training. This choice would definitely get people looking your way. Your reputation would grow fast, but stronger trainers will visit your gym more often. They all have effects! Okay, let's see what's going on here. What about the old guy? An old retired man bored with just sitting around all day. The choice wouldn't be too popular, though your reputation won't go up too much. But you would not have to worry about veteran trainers as much. And is the guy the same as the girl? A tried and true choice, a safe bet all around. If this is your gym guide, your reputation will go up at a steady rate. You know, let's bring in some stronger challengers, you know? Let's have steel sharpen steel for a bit and see how that goes. Hello? Who is this? Oh, you're Ian? This wouldn't be about my application, would it? It is? I can't believe it! I saw the other applications and I got worried. I mean, one of them was an actual gym guy. How could I compete? Sorry, I'm rambling. Meet up tomorrow. Sure, I'll be there. Thank you. When I see the name Dalton, I think of the former Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, Andy Dalton, and that's only because I don't know of a single other person by that name. Hello, Ian. It's me, the mayor, Mayor Dalton. It seems I finally found where I wrote your number. I just wanted to check the application process. You found someone. Great. You'd better rest up. You have a big day tomorrow. Anyhow, I was just checking in. Have a nice day. You better keep his number in your contacts. Alright, I hope they don't throw me right... Oh. Now that you're situated, allow me to introduce the gym trainers that previously worked here. I'm Jimmy, and she is my sister Sandy. We will give it our all if you give yours as well. Gym trainers are a vital part to any gym. I recommend checking your mailbox often for new recruits. Anyhow, while at the gym, you are tasked with facing trainers for the duration of your... I skipped what that word was. Take down each one, and whoever beats you gets a badge. Remember, too many losses will force you to give up the position. You won't be forced to open the gym every day, however. When the gym opens and closes is up to you. But don't stay away too long, you still have a job to do. Just walk into the gym, and if your team is in order, you will begin the day. Oh, and since you just started out, your team needs to have exactly 3 Pokemon before starting the day. No more, no less. Rise up in the ranks, and you will have to increase the amount you use up to 6 to help ensure you can keep up with the opposing trainers. For now, just focus on getting everything in order. Fine. He's gone. Finally, I can stop keeping this smile up. Holy shit. You'd better keep up. We don't want you lazing around like the last gym leader. Look, nothing personal against you. It's just that the last gym leader really left this place to ruin. It was a shame, too. He was so kind the first few months he was here, but the gym leader just stopped caring one day. Most of the other gym trainers left, and everyone in the city petitioned to kick him out. I have no idea what happened, but if anything happens, I feel like this is going to be a mystery as to what the hell happened to the last gym trainer. The gym leader. If anything happens, you better tell us. Hello? I'm not interrupting anything, am I? I'm ready to work if you're open. I promise to do everything in my power to do the best job I can. Talk about a mood killer. I guess it's alright. We were getting a bit overzealous. Yeah, she seems kind of nervous, though. Oh, on my way here, the mayor stopped me and told me to give you these numbers. Alright, the gym leader hotline, the I'm sorry, the police? He made them sound pretty important. I'd make sure you hold on to them just in case. So, when do we start? The day is yours. To start the day at the gym, walk up to the front door with a compatible party. I need to have 3 Pokemon, so I guess I have to go to the mart and buy a couple of Pokeballs first. Because right now, I've got nothing. Alright, at least I got a couple of bucks here to work with. So, I need 3 Pokemon. Let's assume a couple of miss fails and go with 8 Pokeballs. Actually, if I'm already doing that, let me buy 10 and see if I actually get the bonus one. Hey, we do get the bonus Premier Ball, so I will take that. I'm already sitting on a potion. I think I might also need to use my TM. There we go. Go to the bag. Where is... Okay, I can use this multiple times. It would be foolish of me not to have it on Growlithe. Right now, Flamethrower is a pretty solid Fire-type move. It would be pretty bad for me to not have it on, like, everybody. There we go. That's the run button. I'm sorry I keep having to fiddle with finding the controls, but, like, they are not standardized in any way, shape, or form. For whatever reason, right now, I have Z, X, and D. There we go. I don't know where the D comes from. And then I'm actually using, rather than the WASD for movement, I do have to use the actual keys here. Alright, I didn't realize that I was so low on health, so I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not gonna get out of here, I'm gonna be forced into another battle. Got it. The same battle I was just in, more or less, so at least I think I should be able to manage this. I would not be referencing the Bengals otherwise, because Ohio is basically spiceless Michigan. Ohio is one of those states that is the butt of many jokes. You might know this better than I do, because it's largely like sports-based why Ohio is not very well liked by a lot of the regionally locations. So out of curiosity, do you know, for the sports-based reasons, just how far and wide the hatred of Ohio goes? And is there, like, specifics to it? Is it just, like, sports... Is their sports team notoriously good and hated for it? Or is it, like, notoriously often bad? I do not know. I do not understand. All I know is that it relies on sports references. And as such, my knowledge is incredibly lacking. Alright, I want to go try to find another Fletchling, because, like, that's very fitting for my loadout build. But that also gives me access to flying-type moves and Pokemon. You bastards! Everyone wants to fight me! I'm not even at the gym yet. Leave me alone. But yeah, I think if I'm gonna have to fight, like, ground-type Pokemon, having access to flying-type Pokemon would be pretty solid. Right now, I don't have a whole lot of options for like dealing with rock types or water types, and I don't really have a whole lot of type coverage for that. Do I just have to go further south to find the Fletchling? It was back down this way that I... Okay, yeah, it would be in the... So it is a whole different area. And Rattata would be fun! But unfortunately, I don't think Rattata can learn Flamethrower. What's weird is... I don't know if it is still true, but it used to be, I think, that Meowth can learn Flamethrower. That'd be a fun one to get. How the fuck is everything under the sun hitting critical hits? And how is it that there's so many strong Pokemon out here? I want to find the Fletchling, but like, everything out here is so strong. I'm running away from Rattatas. available Pokemon, like, out here is wild. I suppose that makes sense, though, because they are very clearly telling me, please don't eat my dreams. Because if you need to have 3 Pokemon, you need to have access to 3 of the various types. But I'm surprised that it's this hard to find them. Alright, Sentret might be able to learn Flamethrower. I'm gonna have to double check that one. I don't know why I seem to think it might be able to learn Flamethrower, but if it can, that will at least let me meet the criteria. I can have 2 Pokemon that are not of the verified type as long as it can learn them. Alright, which one opens the... There we go. Please? Hey, there we go. I think if I keep Quick Attack, I don't need Scratch, so we'll get rid of that one. Alright. I really want that, Zubat would be a good one, too. The Bengals have a reputation for getting the penalty flag thrown a lot due to just terrible coaching and a general lack of discipline. Even more than the Lions. Look, any place that is getting hated on more than the Lions, I, first of all, will be on board with hating as well, but I also appreciate because that is daggers and spears that aren't pointed our way. Alright, Sableye might be another one able to learn Flamethrower. Not exactly the moves I want to have, or not exactly the Pokemon I want to have, but honestly, I could be doing a lot worse. Oh, you are right on the cusp of going down. This ought to be a catchable Pokemon here. That is a lot of experience. First off, get me out of that. There we go. I keep forgetting which button that one is. All right. Sableye cannot learn Flamethrower. That sucks terribly for me. So Sableye is gonna have to get tossed. In the meantime, I am not gonna go all the way back just to return out here. I've got to find a fitting third Pokemon. I want to see how the actual gym system plays out, but they won't give me the Fletchling, you bastards! Is Fletchling just like a rare spawn and I got super lucky? Or super unlucky? I genuinely think I just got stupid unlucky. Because now I'm just not going to be able to run into one. Ohio State University and its programs are generally hated because of their rival teams are generally well-liked. I mean, like, where do you put that on the scale, though? Because, like, I guess I don't understand college football rival teams, the dynamic there. I just kind of thought, like, states in general had that. I didn't think that was just for college football. Come on, another fire applicable Pokemon, please. Another Wurmple. I didn't realize catching fire Pokemon would be so hard. I will ask though, since it was brought up earlier, with your team layout that you thought about, Rigid, out of curiosity, with the application that as long as the, you know, we don't know necessarily what the fighting type TM would be. Oh god, the button layout sucks. Anyways, we don't know what the TM would be, so going off of the idea of, I don't know, pick whatever TM you want for a fighting type gym, does the option to have two Pokemon that don't share the type but must share the TM change any of your assumed... God, I hate this button layout. I hate it so much. I wish this was compatible with my controller so much. I understand that I could go change what the buttons are, but like, that doesn't change the fact that I would just be infinitely happier with using my controller. Alright, Growlithe is getting incredibly strong, but even still. Alright, we're gonna keep the flamethrower, but we have the physical fire. I think I'd rather be boosting my physical attack than I would be lowering defense. Being able to do both is really useful. It's a fire type. I can get rid of flamethrower. Drain Punch is one of my favorite moves in general. That has to be the DM for my gym gives out. Yeah, if you can pick anything, Drain Punch is a really good one. Being able to heal up when you strike. So yeah, going off of that, does that change up your party dynamic at all? Honestly, a fighting gym would be pretty cool. I wonder if Ralts would be a starting type. One of the starting Pokemon they hand out for that, because that would be a pretty solid one. Just stop with that single button being right in between everything else. It'd be easier if it was like start for enter or something, but it's the C button that I keep fucking pushing and doing that. Because it's like right in between everything. Oh my god! Is there any other place to go? I'm getting pissed off about the lack of fire types. There was... Getting pissed off about that menu too. There looked like another spot. I don't even know if it's open, but like I just don't want to be here anymore. This spot aggravates me. How the fuck do I get to this other area? Please be open. Fire? Any fire thing, please? What the fuck are you? Are we getting like regional specifics? We've got like a smokestack Onyx. Alright, we're definitely gonna have to use a couple Leers here. God, yeah, saw that coming. Nobody else can do anything. Oh, that sucks. Okay, we were able to get away. What was I would not have expected that. Fire Onyx was not on my bingo card. Yes, please restore my party. In the meantime, I'm gonna get Sableye out of here. I want that Fletchling so bad. I know it's down there, but I just can't get it to spawn in. Alright, I know I can't use Sableye, so let's store that. I don't know if there's gonna be like any purpose for the other Pokemon later on, but I could go for the Fire Onyx, not exactly something I'd normally want, but I know that it's there. Then again, I knew that there was a Fletchling too, and that didn't help me out a whole lot. What do we have this way? Marsh. Definitely not going into the marsh. Alright, Craggy Pass it is. And Sandshrew can't learn Fire-type moves either. So already, just gonna try to run. For another direction. Bug Pokemon. Out here with a bunch of rock types. I guess I can't say too much. I'm out here with a Growlithe. I kind of wish that I could also just tell them that I want to bypass the need to have 3 Pokemon, because, again, like, what really do I get to work with right now? Apparently, Fire-type Pokemon are very rare. I didn't realize I was playing Diamond and Pearl. There we go, level 13. I feel like my gym people are going to be very mad at me for not being there to actually do anything. Come to think of it, the song gives me Final Fantasy vibes. I will go through later and see if I can find an example of like the source of that music. If it's Final Fantasy, I can sit there and mull it over for a while and figure it out. Just running from everything. I don't want to fight things that I can't use at my gym right now. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with it. I feel like that Fire Onyx is gonna have the same issue with trying to find the Fletchling from before. More trainer fights. Yeah, now that you say that, no, like I'm getting some Final Fantasy vibes in the song too. It definitely feels like it has too much of an epic sound to it to just be like a standard Pokemon battle. Please, my kingdom for a fucking fire type, please. At this point, I might just lose because I can't go be a gym leader. You need 3 Pokemon. Good fucking luck. Cold Steel. Cool. I'm gonna go with a strong assumption that what I need is not there. Alright, Cast Iron, maybe, plausibly. Hidden items? Nope. Come on, what do we got here? Cast Iron, like, you have to cast your metal to make it, so it's gotta be fire here, right? salty motherfucker. That is me right now, one salty bastard. Cavern, like the infamous Sonic OC that everyone used to meme on. That's a good reference, because I don't know who that is. I don't know that Sonic OC. But like cast iron, you have to melt your iron in order to cast it. Please tell me that there's not just steel types, right? Like somewhere within here, somehow, I can manage to come across a fire type to melt the iron. To cast the iron. Probably better coming back out here and trying to find that onyx. At least I know it's here. I knew that fletchling was here too, so that doesn't mean a whole lot. Did I just like unknowingly pick just a stupid challenging gym to even get started? Timber! Still, I don't think you can use fire type moves. I don't get what the purpose of catching you would benefit me. Bad enough Sandshrews already wounded to deal with an Onyx, but at least Onyxes don't traditionally have high attack. I am literally going to put it on the party just to fill a slot, just so it can be a tank. It's not going to do a whole lot of anything else, but damn it, game, give him to me. I need a fire type. Man, I'm starting to think I head out to the marsh and just try my luck there, because like I can't have any fucking worse luck than I got here. At least that way I can see what else there is in this game. Just put Cold Steel in the Discord. Prepare to cringe. Alright, I'm gonna look over at this because I'm getting frustrated at this game. This was the last one I was gonna look at. So I want to commit to this and at least get something and... Okay. Well then. You know? At least that took some of the heat out of the What? Anyways, that's something. I'm gonna try to catch it. It is what it is. Let me see. Yeah, no, I did look at that, and I have no. I've got nothing. Alright, let's try flamethrower to see what this does. Okay, it's not nothing. This is bad, but it's not impossible. Oh man, it feels like maybe I'm better off trying Pokeballs by now. Let's potion my Sentret. Because a crit would be very bad. And right now, crits are coming all over the place. Go with another flamethrower. Bind is fine. I don't care about bind. Go for the bind all you want. I'm going to assume we're sticking to the bind for a little bit. Let's try some Pokeballs. Oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, that's really not a good sign. Oh, we're hurting. All right. Alright, either this works or I am in the bad spots. Oh, thank God. Okay. Please tell me that this is a third fire type, right? Show me the new Pokemon Smeltix. Oh God, it's Steel Fire. Thank you. Thank you. We're good to go. I can be done with this. You want to give a nickname? Yes. Please tell me I can nickname it anything I want. I'm going cross-eyed. I am getting so agitated. You know what? Let me. There we go. Fuck you! Get me out of here. No! Bastard! Oh, thank you. Centrit, thank you. That was getting really bad. Alright, get me up to... I guess I'll go to the Pokemart first. I need to buy a few more potions. I have to figure out some way to survive the day. You know, it is kind of interesting, though, the idea of going through the gym leader process. There we go. That's enough. If I don't get to heal in between, and I have to fight multiple Pokemon in the course of a day, and I have to supply my own items for it, that does explain why, when you're fighting gym leaders, or at least it gives an idea of an explanation, why exactly some gym leaders will use items and others won't. And also why they aren't, like, willing to Super Soaker their Pokemon, too. Alright, let's see how the gym day goes. Fighting a lass. Let's see what she brings in. I am so too strong for this. But it took me so long to find another fire type. Alright, start, fight the Flababy. Alright, that's one fight for the day. How many do we have? Let me show what the mountains instilled in this old timer. So like this would be the kind of guy that I'd want to have at my gym. Give me a bunch of the hiker class characters. I'm glad to actually be getting onto something with the gym running thing, though. Alright, got the Woobat. Keep up the flame wheels. Ooh, Endeavor's gonna be a pain in my ass. And I can't heal my Pokemon with a potion before the next guy arrives. Alright, Karate Girl or no? Okay, cool trainer. Oh, we're getting into some newer Pokemon. Hatena is still pretty new. Oh, but I am healed in between. I don't have to... I was just going for that on instinct. Flamethrower was good. What is Bite gonna look like? Because that is gonna be the type advantage. Hone Edge. I'm actually, like, excited that we are getting some newer Pokemon. Hone Edge would be a fun one. That would be the kind of Pokemon that I would consider doing, like, a Ghost or like a Steel Gym. I'm a fan of the Hone Edge. That also means we get Mimikyu. Mimikyu is an option. Electro. Is that worth swapping over to? Fuck you! This is like the idea of shouting that at the people challenging my gyms. Just gonna bludgeon your dog with rocks. There we go. Alright, is that the end of the day? How many of these guys do I have to go through? And is it going to be the same group? I mean, it's the same trainer. Did they just, like, go out and hit the gym and we're just like, nah, I've got to have a round 2? I've got this. I know I got this. She legit did. She just went out there. Oops, I don't know why I didn't bite instead of flame wheel, but, you know, whatever. She legitimately went out there, went to the Poke Center, and came right the hell back in. It really does feel like a boss rush right now. It almost feels like, you know, if you're running a gym, though, alright, your gym trainer boosted your reputation. However, that was it for the day. When the day ends, you can either head straight home or go to the break room. Sometimes your gym trainers will gather there. Some of them might give you items as well. Make sure to check in for... Let's go to the break room. Let's see who all we have here. Hey, Ian. Are you doing good out there? Looking for a quick chat? Have you talked to the gym trainers lately? They might have something they'd like to talk about. The gym trainers are going to train today. Sometimes your gym trainers will want to train. If you train with them, they will help you improve your reputation. Yo! Yeah, we can do that. Oh, I shouldn't go to bed yet. Can I leave? Can I leave? Is it asking too much? It is asking too much for me to go check my mail like the game told me to. Grumble, grumble. When you advance the day, you gain some revenue. How much revenue you get is dependent on what buildings you have in place. Keep a good balance and you should expect a good bit of revenue. So don't sleep on your buildings. I do have the ability to put a building up. They did tell me that. So let's see what buildings we can put in place. World building is going to be a part of all of this. Do I do that here with you or the other person? If I need a vacation, let you know? Okay. Building plans. How can I serve you? Let's see what we're looking at. Well, I don't... You know, I would love to be able to put a build... I ain't got that money! So the gym leader is treated like the mayor. Makes sense. Well, there was a mayor. It seems more like the gym leader and the mayor feel like they're like unified in what they do. If I were to guess, it seems like the mayor is an elected position that kind of runs a lot of the town's elements there, but the gym leader takes some of the burden off of things. But also, the gym leader would not be someone who is elected. Obviously, the town had no interest in electing a gym leader, but the town needed a gym leader, so here I am filling the role. So it sounds like the gym leader's a staple for the most part. Unless, of course, you're really, really bad at your job and the people literally run you out of town. But then the mayor is someone who would probably have to be elected. Yeah, like a vice mayor. Alright, I'm gonna keep pushing further in because I'm hoping eventually somewhere one of these caves have like an outlet position and maybe I can catch some new Pokemon soon. Oh, Mawile! The fact that they have as many ranges of Pokemon that they do does make the idea of like gym dynamic setup a lot more fun. I'd love to be like I'm really early right now, so I don't have to worry about too many like I imagine specialty setup things. If I could get one right now, I'd really like to have access to like a Magmar. I suppose I should probably fight a few of the things I come across as well. Mawile not being one I want to mess with though. The reduction of my attack is going to make that a much longer fight than I want to commit to. Although we're getting to like higher levels anyway, so... Baton Pass, isn't that the move that like lets you transfer all of the benefits you get into whatever Pokemon you trade into? It's a move that has a lot of potential considering the concept it's trying to work with. The Icebound Pit. Again, we're not going to get a lot of options in an area full of ice, but at least let's see what's out here. I can also be training a lot of my other Pokemon, but like right now, I'm more interested in trying to see just what is out here in this world, because I don't feel like I have a lot of options for my fire team. There's a lot of options if I wanted to do like Steel. Unironically, though, I could see this being, out of all of the ones we've played today, this would be the one I would be most interested in playing long-term in my own. But I am kind of reaching the point of being done for the day, and I would probably be swapping over to a different type, just given the absolute frustration I'm having with trying to find enough Fire-type Pokemon. But I do have to wrap this up and get going, so... as I always do, thank you so much, everybody, for stopping in. I apologize greatly that today I had a couple of interruptions that I don't normally have to step away from for so long. But, you know, as usual, thank you, everybody, for stopping in. I hope y'all have a good one. I hope to see you next time. And I hope that next time isn't nearly as long of a wait as it was this time. There will be a Discord showing taking place tomorrow. We're going to be watching some anime. If you feel free, please stop in, check it out. We started a new series, however, it derailed heavily and became a massive long discussion day. So we're actually only one episode in. So yeah, that'll be, if you stop in, we can easily fill you in. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Richard, it looks like you guys are still here. Thank you so much as always. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.